What's up, Profit Snipers? It's your boy Jaren. I just wanted to run through you guys with a pre-market prep today. As we can see in the market, we are getting a lot of selling, so I just wanted to run over some things with you guys and see how we ended up getting to this point. If you are new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content I am putting out. I'm putting out educational content on a day-to-day basis. But the first thing that we can see is this green buying channel that the bulls were in. So we know that the bulls want to push up strong in their strongest buying channel. And when the bulls are not in their strongest buying channel, they tend to want to sell or end up building more liquidity. And we can see that the bulls were struggling to push up sufficiently in this green buying channel. They were trying to remain strong in it, but they could not. And this is when I identified this resistance algorithm right here in this green algorithm, right? So the bulls were struggling to break out of this algorithm, and they built the sufficient liquidity in it to see if they could probably come grab the liquidity later on off of the left shoulder. And this right here is the left shoulder. And what the bulls would like to do is they'll like to come and pull price back down to identify a head. But as we can see towards the end of the day, a lot of people were trying to buy in at the head, which provided sufficient liquidity for the bears to continue pushing this down. And that's why we see a gap down currently, because you have bulls who are gambling overnight, and they provided liquidity for the bears to activate their strongest selling channel. But as you can see right here, this Magenta algorithm was the first sign of the selling. The Magenta algorithm is a controlled selling algorithm by the bulls. Like I always talk about, the bulls want to control the selling down to a support zone so they can buy back. And you see the bottom of this channel is coinciding with the green selling algorithm. So if the bears want to target the bottom of the Magenta, it would have to, price would have to continue selling below 768.42, that key yellow level that I have on my chart. So what we want to identify is our selling channels and see how strong we are selling once we open up. And the thing about trading is you have to protect. This one trade from the green resistance or the magenta resistance down to here was almost a $3 move. Just this move alone right here is a $2 move. It gives you more than enough to be able to protect yourself and leave some runners, right? And if you were to be able to catch this from here, that was a $4 move intraday in the same day. Now, we see towards the end of the day, there's large volume, most definitely bulls entering right here. Bulls gambling, just entering last minute, and that's why we had this selling continuation. And this is what I was talking about. When we are in selling channels, you cannot buy in selling channels, because all you are doing is you will add fuel to the fire. You are adding liquidity to the fire, and that's why we have this downside move, and we got our strongest selling channel activated because we had a lot of liquidity built overnight in the futures market, and you have a lot of liquidity that ended the day on SPY, people trying to just gamble and buy in towards the end of the day. Now we can see the trajectory of all three of our selling channels in the green, orange, and magenta. Now if the bears want to continue selling this, it has to come from a break of this blue band right here. And it would be best if we continue selling down strong in our green selling algorithm. So today, as we open up, we want to assess our selling continuations, because if it's in green, it's going to go down fast. Green is our strongest selling algorithm. You don't want to play around with it. Now, if we start selling down in our secondary orange selling algorithm, it's still going to head down, but it should be a little bit more. It will be a little bit more choppy as we head down, but you will ultimately end up getting to the main target, which is the 20-day moving average. So we just want to pay attention to the trajectory of our selling channels. As you can see, the green one is our strongest, orange is our secondary, and this magenta is our controlled selling algorithm by the bulls, which the bulls use to sell down to a support zone for them to buy back and grab liquidity on the breakout of the Magenta algorithm. And we cannot be surprised if the bulls start trying to grab the liquidity fast, right? Trapping bears to the downside over here, because the bulls did build a lot of liquidity in this green algorithm that got left up here. And as you can see, that is a lot of left shoulder liquidity. Already know what the bulls want to do. They want to get that right shoulder grab off of the Magenta algorithm, which coincides with 768 level, our major yellow level right there. Get that right shoulder grab, and the way they want to do is start building support at that head, which will coincide with our 20-day moving average. And then we begin breaking out with our right shoulder, grabbing liquidity off of that right shoulder in the green algorithm, which coincides with that 768 yellow level. But it's going to be a little while for us to get here, so don't just be buying calls randomly, because as you can see, we have multiple selling channels that are present in our green, in our orange, in our magenta, right? So the bulls need to begin reclaiming levels first before you look at going long, right? So don't get caught in just buying calls because it's dumping, and trade with structure and trade safe today. Peace.